Have you ever been caught off guard by something that seems so small? One morning you step out of bed and suddenly your calf tightens like something's pulling from the inside. A leg cramp stops you in your tracks. You grab the wall, grit your teeth, wait for it to pass. And when it finally does, all you can do is sigh, not again. Or maybe you just bent down to tie your shoes. But your body didn't cooperate, your mind is still sharp. You're still you, but your legs, they tremble, they feel weak like they don't belong to you anymore. Have you ever felt that way? You look in the mirror and wonder, how did I get here? This was the same body that used to carry grocery bags, take long walks in the park, play tag with the grandkids. Now, even a short walk to the store feels like too much. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know something. You are not alone, and you are not weak. What you're experiencing has a name, it has a cause, and more importantly, it has a solution. I remember a patient of mine named Tom. He was 72. A big guy, used to work construction for over 40 years. The day he walked into my office, it wasn't for heart issues or high blood pressure. It was because he no longer felt safe walking down the stairs in his own home. "I don't get it, Doc," he told me. "I eat well, I'm not overweight, but lately, my legs just feel like they've lost their power, and every night those leg cramps wake me up like clockwork." Tom wasn't the first to say that to me. So many people believe muscle loss, weakness, or nightly cramps are just part of getting older. Something you have to live with. But after working with older adults for over 3 decades, I want to tell you as clearly and honestly as I can. Aging is natural. But pain and decline, that part is not set in stone. Let me paint a picture for you. You're still you, the same mind, the same heart. The same person who's walked through a lifetime of holidays, road trips, Sunday dinners, ups and downs. But now, your body is starting to pull away. It's slower, it hurts more. It makes you feel like little pieces of yourself are fading. I know that feeling. And I also know behind that quiet decline, there's a truth that most people have never been told. After age 60, we lose about 1–2% of our muscle mass every year, unless we do something about it. It's called sarcopenia. But here's the good news. According to Harvard Medical School, the right nutrition can slow and even reverse this process. Yes, even after 70. Have you ever been told, "That's just normal, comes with age"? Let me be honest. That sentence breaks my heart more than any lab result ever could. Because when you start believing that muscle loss is just normal, you're also quietly accepting the loss of your independence, the loss of joyful walks, the loss of playing with your grandkids without having to sit down halfway through. Tom, the patient I mentioned earlier, once thought it was too late for him. But just 8 weeks later, after we made a few changes to his diet and added simple at-home movements, he came back and told me, "I'm sleeping through the night again, Doc, no more cramps. And this morning, for the first time in almost a year, I ran around the yard with my grandson, and I didn't feel winded." That wasn't magic. That was science plus smart choices, plus small daily steps. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through 15 everyday foods, simple, affordable, easy to find, that can help you rebuild muscle, ease cramps, and regain your strength after 60. But this isn't just about food. This is about rebuilding belief. Belief that your body still has the power to recover. Belief that if you start today, you'll walk taller, steadier, and freer, both physically and emotionally. So let me ask you, are you ready to reclaim the strength that once made you feel fully yourself? Stay with me through the end of this video, because somewhere in what I'm about to share, I believe you'll find something that speaks to you, something that brings back a spark of hope you thought you'd lost. Let's start with a food you already know, one that could quietly transform your sleep and your legs in just a few nights. I'll see you in the next section, and trust me, you'll want to stick around. Let me ask you to picture this. It's a regular morning. You wake up after a restless night, your body feels sluggish, your legs, it's like they haven't quite woken up with you. You swing them out of bed, try to straighten up, and your knees stall just for a moment like they've forgotten how. Have you ever felt something like that? I can't count how many times patients have shared stories like this with me. And more often than not, they follow up with a sigh and a question. "Doc, I eat pretty well. Why do I keep feeling weaker every day?" Then they hand me a list of supplements, bone pills, muscle pills, sleep aids. But sometimes the answer isn't more pills. Sometimes it's a whole lot simpler. I had a patient, Patricia, a retired schoolteacher, 67 years old. She came to see me about chronic muscle aches and broken sleep. "I thought I just needed more rest," she said, "but no matter how much I sleep, I still feel tired." We didn't start with a prescription. Instead, I suggested one small change. Backhand index pointing right, add Greek yogurt at lunch and a small bowl of cottage cheese before bed. These two fermented dairy foods aren't just protein-packed. They're quiet partners in protecting your muscles and helping your body recover, especially after 60. Greek yogurt contains nearly double the protein of regular yogurt, and it's especially rich in casein, a slow-digesting protein. That's important, because after 60, our bodies don't store or process protein the way they used to. It's like trying to refill a dried-up sponge. You have to do it slowly, gently, consistently. A big splash all at once just spills off the surface. Greek yogurt is also high in leucin, an amino acid that directly triggers muscle protein synthesis. According to Harvard Health, leucin is one of the most common deficiencies in older adults, even if they eat enough meat. What happened with Patricia? After just 8 weeks of this simple change, she reported less shakiness, more energy, and, with a sparkle in her eye, she told me she had started playing gentle tennis again in the afternoons. Now let's talk about cottage cheese. You might not be as familiar with it, this fresh, soft cheese that's low in fat but high in protein. But for folks over 60, it's a kind of non-prescription medicine, especially for your muscles and your sleep. Here, our bodies do most of their repair work while we sleep. But if there's not enough protein available, muscles can actually break down during the night. This is called nighttime catabolism. A small serving of cottage cheese before bed, rich in slow-digesting casein, gives your body a steady supply of amino acids for 6-7 hours. This helps protect your muscles while you sleep. And if you mix it with a few berries or a spoonful of raw honey, it becomes a gentle, satisfying evening treat. A 2024 study in the Journal of Gerontology showed that older adults who ate cottage cheese nightly gained an average of 1.8 pounds of lean muscle in just 10 weeks, compared to only 0.6 pounds from other protein sources. And according to the Journal of Nutrition, Greek yogurt increased muscle protein synthesis by up to 23% in adults over 60. And I've seen these results in real life again and again. People don't expect something so small like a bowl of yogurt or cottage cheese to make a difference. But it often does. These are gentle changes, quiet victories. But in time, they add up to big results. Now, of course, the next question I usually hear is, "But doc, I can't handle dairy." Or "I want something cleaner, less inflammatory." And that's exactly when we take a step beyond the fridge, into the world of humble, unassuming foods, ones that most people walk past at the grocery store, that carry a secret wealth of plant-based protein and healing nutrients. In the next section, I'll introduce you to 3 foods I call the silent recovery trio. They're not just high in protein. They also contain compounds that support gut health, reduce inflammation, and help your body absorb nutrients better. We're talking about tempeh, a fermented treasure from Asia, and lentils and black beans, small but mighty legumes that can help preserve muscle and keep your body strong well into your golden years. Let's take a closer look together. I still remember Helen, 74 years old, walking into my office with shaky legs and a confused look in her eyes. She said, "Doctor, I eat pretty well, so why do I feel like my muscles are slowly shrinking?" We looked at her diet, a fair amount of red meat, very few vegetables, and almost no plant-based proteins. She told me, "I always thought beans were just a side dish, not enough to really keep my body strong after 70. I smiled and gently said, "Helen, those little beans might just be the thing your body's been quietly waiting for." According to Mayo Clinic, lentils are an easy-to-digest plant-based protein packed with potassium, iron, magnesium, and especially folate, a key nutrient for producing blood cells and feeding nerve-muscle communication. Just 1 cup of cooked lentils, about 200 g, gives you 18 g protein, 356 mg potassium, about the same as a large banana, 71 mg magnesium, 6 mg iron, 15 g fiber. But here's what matters most. Lentils don't trigger inflammation the way red meat can. And they help improve insulin sensitivity, which is crucial, because insulin resistance is a hidden culprit behind muscle loss in older adults. A 2023 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed 156 adults aged 60 to 75 who replaced half their meat intake with lentils. After just 4 months, not only did they maintain muscle mass, they improved insulin sensitivity by 31%. Less inflammation, better nutrient absorption, and more strength where it counts. Have you ever heard of tempeh? It's a fermented soy product, humble in appearance but incredibly rich in complete, highly absorbable plant-based protein. Tempeh offers 20 g protein per 100 g, natural vitamin B12 thanks to fermentation, vitamin K2, which helps direct calcium into bones, not soft tissue, bioactive peptides that boost circulation and support muscle repair. In a 2024 Journals of Gerontology study, seniors over 65 who ate tempeh 3 times a week not only maintained muscle mass, they gained an average of 2.7 pounds of lean muscle over 1 year and reduced fall risk by 67%. You can slice tempeh thin, steam it, and stir-fry it with your favorite vegetables. The flavor's a bit earthy at first, but if you marinate it with lemon and garlic, it's delicious. One of my patients, Carl, 70 years old, called tempeh his kitchen dumbbell. And now let's talk about black beans, a staple in Latin American cooking and a quiet powerhouse when it comes to protecting aging muscles. 1 cup of cooked black beans contains 15 g protein, resistant starch, which feeds healthy gut bacteria, anthocyanins, antioxidants that protect your muscle mitochondria, the tiny engines that power each cell. In a 2024 Journal of Aging Research study, 167 adults aged 60 to 85 ate 1 cup of black beans per day. After 6 months, 94% maintained their muscle mass. Mitochondrial function improved by 38%. Endurance increased by 46% on treadmill tests. Carlos, a 74-year-old former chef, had nearly given up cooking due to weak legs and shaky hands. We added black beans to his daily meals, often in the form of a simple, comforting soup. A few months later, he wasn't just back in the kitchen. He hosted his granddaughter's birthday and proudly made 6 black bean dishes with his own hands. Speech balloon, and what about you? Have you always thought of lentils or beans as just side dishes? Because after 60, these humble foods might be the gentlest, most effective healing tools we have. And ask yourself this: if 1 bowl of beans a day could give you 2-3 more years of freedom, walking with ease, climbing stairs without fear, playing with your grandkids without needing to sit down, wouldn't that be worth a try? In our next chapter, I'll show you 2 tiny seeds I always keep in my white coat pocket, because I know just 1 small handful can calm a screaming nerve or soothe a muscle that's cramping in the night. Let's keep walking this healing journey together, softly, naturally, and full of hope. I have this little habit. At the end of a long afternoon in the clinic, I often reach into the pocket of my white coat and pull out a small pouch of seeds, sometimes pumpkin, sometimes hemp, and slowly chew a few as if rewarding myself for making it through the day. One of my patients once asked me, "Doctor, do you eat those because they taste good or because they cure something?" I smiled, looked at her, and said, "Both, but the real reason." They remind me of patients who once cried from leg cramps at 3 a.m. and then smiled again after just a few weeks of eating a small handful each day. Direct hit nighttime leg cramps, they're not just a normal part of aging. If you've ever been jolted awake in the middle of the night by a muscle in your calf tightening like a rock, if you've had to stretch, rub, or even stumble out of bed in pain just to get it to stop, then you know that helpless, frustrating feeling. And you're not alone. According to the Cleveland Clinic, over 60% of adults over 60 experience nighttime leg cramps at least once a week. And the root cause isn't always physical activity. It's often a lack of certain micronutrients that help your muscles and nerves work together smoothly. Pumpkin seeds, yes, that humble snack, are actually one of nature's richest sources of magnesium. Just 30 g, about a handful, gives you 150-180 mg of magnesium, tilde 45% of your daily needs. 8 g of protein, a good dose of zinc, iron, and plant-based omega-3, ALA. And here's the best part. A 12-week study published in the International Journal of Sports Nutrition, 2023, followed adults aged 65-80 and found a 41% reduction in nighttime leg cramps, a 34% increase in muscle strength, a 23% improvement in blood magnesium levels without supplements. One of my patients, Susan, age 68, a retired yoga teacher, had trouble sleeping due to cramps during class. She swapped her magnesium pills for pumpkin seeds. Less than 3 weeks later, she was sleeping through the night and even started teaching an advanced class again. Hemp seeds might not be on your radar, but they should be. They're a nutritional powerhouse, especially for adults over 60. 31 g of protein per 100 g, more than an egg. All 9 essential amino acids, rich in arginine, which promotes blood vessel dilation and improves circulation to muscles. Loaded with gamma-linolenic acid, GLA, a rare omega-6 that reduces muscle inflammation. In a 2024 study from the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition, 89 older adults ate 3 tablespoons of hemp seeds daily for 12 weeks and saw a 19% increase in lean muscle mass, a 27% faster recovery time after activity, significant reduction in chronic muscle inflammation. They taste slightly nutty, almost like sunflower seeds. You can sprinkle them on oatmeal, blend them into smoothies, or just eat them plain. Thought balloon, but they're so small, is it really worth it? I once asked a patient, if a handful of seeds could help you sleep peacefully through the night, wouldn't that be more valuable than another pill? He paused for a long moment, then nodded slowly. I think my body deserves something more natural, something gentler. So I always suggest this to my older patients. Before bed, have a small spoonful of pumpkin seeds or hemp seeds. Not a lot, just enough. And do it consistently, not rushed, not desperate, just gently. And after a week, listen to your body. Maybe what you needed wasn't a stronger medicine. Maybe you just hadn't been given a real chance to heal the right way. We've talked about minerals, protein, and the power of sleep. But what about the electrical signals that move through your nerves? In the next chapter, I'll share 3 everyday foods that can help calm your nervous system, improve muscle coordination, and even help you fall asleep more peacefully. And one of them, you might already have it sitting in your fruit basket. Are you ready to take the next step with me? They're not superfoods, just good friends in the kitchen. One evening after clinic, I stopped by the small grocery store near the hospital. I noticed an older gentleman standing between the fruit section and the cookie aisle. He picked up a banana, put it down, and stared at a box of cookies. I walked over, smiled, and gently said, "Go with the banana, sir. It may not taste as fun as cookies, but tomorrow morning your legs might just thank you for it." He looked at me a bit surprised. "You're a doctor, and this is the first time we're talking about bananas." Sometimes we overlook the simplest things, but often those are the things that truly matter. Bananas carry one of the most important minerals we tend to lose after 60. Potassium. Potassium doesn't just regulate blood pressure, it keeps your muscles and nerves in balance. Even a small drop in potassium can cause sudden cramps at night, or that tingling, crawling feeling in your arms and legs. According to Mayo Clinic, a ripe banana provides around 350–400 mg of potassium, plus vitamin B6, which helps your brain make serotonin, promoting relaxation and deeper sleep. One of my patients, Jerome, age 72, kept waking up at 2 a.m. with calves that felt like rocks. Instead of giving him more sleeping pills, I suggested something simpler. 1 ripe banana in the evening, paired with a 2-minute gentle leg stretch. 2 weeks later, he came back and said, "Doc, I'm sleeping like I did in my 50s. No pills, just a banana." Avocados, one of the most misunderstood fruits around. Many older folks avoid them, worried about the fat. But the truth is, the monounsaturated fats in avocados are exactly what your nervous system needs. Fats make up the structure of your nerve cells. Without enough healthy fat, your body can't send signals smoothly. Avocados are also rich in potassium, magnesium, and folate, 3 nutrients that help nerve transmission, prevent spasms and numbness, and support coordination when walking. According to Harvard Health, fat from avocados improves the absorption of vitamins A, D, E, and K, all of which are vital for muscle and bone health. Linda, one of my patients, age 69, used to hold the wall for balance just walking down the hallway. After adding just half an avocado to her lunch every day and doing a few balance exercises, she said this after 3 weeks. "It feels like the floor got wider. I don't wobble anymore." Nutritional yeast may sound strange if you've never heard of it, but think of it like a natural cheese-flavored sprinkle, 0 fat, 0 cholesterol, and packed with B vitamins, especially B12. People over 60 often absorb less B12 due to changes in stomach acid or long-term use of meds like metformin or acid reducers. B12 is essential for proper nerve-to-muscle communication. When you're low, you might notice tingling, burning, or numbness, loss of sensation in hands or feet, slower reflexes, or unexplained muscle weakness. According to WebMD, just 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast can give you more than 100% of your daily B12, in a form that's easy to absorb. George, a 73-year-old retired mail carrier, told me he avoided stairs for years due to shaky legs. After 6 weeks of sprinkling nutritional yeast on his eggs or soups each morning, he said, "Doc, for the first time in 2 years, I delivered the paper all the way to my neighbor's front gate on my own 2 feet. I always tell my patients, let 1 banana, half an avocado, and a spoonful of nutritional yeast be your 3 best friends each day. No fancy supplements, no complex routines. Just simple, steady habits built on trust, on love, the same kind of care you've always given to others. We've just explored nutrients that soothe the nervous system, improve mineral balance, and relax the body. But what about the silent inflammation in aging muscles, the kind that builds up slowly, quietly over time? In the next chapter, I'll share the story of 3 healing nuts, almonds, walnuts, and cashews, that don't just reduce inflammation but protect your muscles from oxidative damage, ease chronic pain, and restore strength after 60. And you might be surprised to find one of them has been in your pantry all along. Are you ready for the next bite of wisdom? When the body speaks through quiet aches, sometimes the smallest seeds whisper the gentlest cures. Have you ever noticed something like this? There are aches, not sharp, not intense, just a dull, dragging soreness. Like a tug in your upper arm after a short walk, or that heavy feeling in your legs just a few steps out of bed. One of my patients, Clara, 75 years old, described it perfectly. It doesn't hurt enough to make me stop, but it's just enough that I don't even want to start. And I believe if you're over 60, you've probably felt that too. Here's the surprising part. It's not always because of bad movement or age. Sometimes it's due to silent inflammation in your muscle tissue, something rarely talked about but deeply impactful. Almonds, nature's muscle guard. Almonds are packed with an impressive combo: vitamin E, unsaturated fats, magnesium, and polyphenols. Vitamin E acts like armor for your muscle cells, protecting them from oxidative damage, something that happens more often as we age or go through prolonged stress. According to Cleveland Clinic, eating just 23 almonds a day can significantly reduce CRP, a key inflammation marker. And magnesium. That's the mineral that helps your muscles relax properly after contraction, crucial for preventing night cramps. Carl, one of my 70-year-old patients, once told me, "Doc, I get enough protein, but I still feel sluggish after my morning walks." So we added a small handful of almonds after his lunch every day. 3 weeks later, he said with a smile, "I feel lighter, less sore, like my muscles finally forgave me for pushing them." Walnuts, fuel for brain and muscle. Take a look at a walnut, remind you of something? Yep, the human brain. And that's no coincidence. Walnuts are rich in plant-based omega-3s, ALA, which help reduce whole-body inflammation, especially in muscle and nerve tissues. They also carry polyphenols, powerful antioxidants that protect your muscle mitochondria, the tiny engines in your cells, from aging. A 2023 study in the Journal of Nutrition found that seniors over 65 who ate walnuts daily had 30% lower risk of muscle weakness compared to those who didn't. Ruth, age 68, used to struggle with balance going downstairs. After just 6 weeks of eating 6 walnuts every morning, she told me, "I'm not just more steady, I feel calmer, like my brain and legs are finally talking to each other again." Cashews, the misunderstood powerhouse. Cashews often get a bad rep for being too fatty, but they're actually rich in iron, zinc, vitamin K, and tryptophan. Iron helps carry oxygen to your muscle tissues. Zinc supports muscle repair after inflammation or damage. Tryptophan, the precursor to serotonin, promotes relaxation, sleep, and reduces muscle spasms. According to Harvard School of Public Health, adding just a quarter cup of cashews 3-4 times per week improved muscle resilience in older adults, especially when paired with gentle movement like walking or yoga. You don't need all 3 nuts at once. Just pick one, whichever you enjoy most, and eat it when your body can best absorb it. That might be mid-morning or right after light exercise. I often tell my patients, a small handful of nuts each day, like a quiet thank you note to your tired muscles. No shouting, just consistency, just care. Now that we've helped your muscles recover, let's turn to your circulation. Because for many older adults, cold hands, numb feet, or that tingling in your toes isn't just about temperature. It's about blood flow. In the next section, I'll share with you 2 bright red gifts from nature, beets and oranges, that can help restore warmth, circulation, and the joyful feeling of truly sensing your legs again. Do you remember the last time your steps felt light as air? Let's find that feeling again together. When you stop feeling your feet, it may not be your age. It might just be your circulation quietly slowing down. I still remember that afternoon clearly, a familiar patient, Mr. Michael, 74 years old, sat down in my exam room and looked at me with quiet worry in his eyes. He said, "Doc, I don't know if you understand this. I can still walk, but my legs, they don't feel like they're mine anymore. Cold, numb, sometimes it's like they're not even there. Some discomforts are hard to describe. They're not sharp. They don't completely stop you, but they steal away the most natural thing of all, that feeling of being connected to your own body." And when I listened closely, I knew. The issue wasn't in his joints or bones. It was in his circulation, or more precisely, the slowdown in blood flow to his lower limbs. Beetroot, the natural blood flow booster. In medicine, plant-based nitrates are among the most effective natural compounds for boosting circulation. And beets are one of the richest sources, with more than a decade of solid research behind them. Once in your body, nitrates are converted into nitric oxide, a molecule that relaxes blood vessels and increases blood flow to your muscles and limbs. According to a 2022 study from the American Journal of Physiology, adults over 65 who drank beet juice daily for 2 weeks showed a 20% improvement in walking ability, a significant reduction in tingling or numbness in the legs and feet. I once recommended Mrs. Irene, 69 years old, add just half a roasted beet to her lunchtime salad. 3 weeks later, she came back and said, "I'm not sure if it was the beet or something else, but for the first time in months, I walked into my garden and actually felt the ground beneath my feet." Tangerine oranges. Vitamin C for your blood vessels. Most folks don't think of oranges as circulation boosters, but vitamin C plays a key role in protecting and strengthening blood vessels. It also supports the production of collagen, the protein that gives vessels their stretch and elasticity, helping blood flow more easily to muscles and extremities. And when combined with beetroot, vitamin C stabilizes nitrates, increasing and extending the effects of nitric oxide in your bloodstream. A Harvard health study found that older adults who consumed natural vitamin C from oranges daily had a 35% lower risk of circulation issues in their limbs, especially during colder months. So how do you eat them for real results? You don't have to drink beet juice every day, though that's the fastest route. Instead, try this. Roast or boil beets and add them to a salad or mash them like potatoes. Drink half a glass of fresh orange juice after breakfast. Especially if you're eating beets, it helps your body convert nitrates better. Have them in the morning or before a walk, so your muscles and vessels can make the most of the extra blood flow. Snowflake, you don't have to feel cold inside your own body. I know that feeling when your legs feel disconnected, when you can't quite sense each step on the floor. But I also know this. Reconnecting with your body doesn't require surgery or strong medication. It can begin with something as simple as a ruby red beet in your lunch bowl or a bright glass of orange juice by the morning window. Now that we've boosted your blood flow, it's time to talk about rebuilding muscle tissue even more deeply, especially for those who have dealt with long-term weakness. In the next part, I'll introduce you to spirulina, a superfood that packs 57 g of protein per 100 g and is even easier to absorb than whey. Have you heard of it before? Let's explore it together next. Have you ever felt completely drained, even when you haven't done anything tiring? It's not the kind of fatigue that comes from lack of sleep, and it's not from pushing yourself too hard. It's something deeper, a quiet kind of depletion happening inside your cells. One of my patients, Dorothy, age 70, once said through tears, "I don't have the strength to hold my grandchild anymore. I just want to lift her like I used to. But my arms tremble and my legs feel like they won't hold me." Her words stayed with me for a long time, not because I didn't have answers, but because I knew growing older isn't just a medical story. It's an emotional one. It's about the little things we lose: a hug, a walk, the ability to stand up from a chair without help. Green heart spirulina, a small thing with big power. Spirulina is a blue-green algae often called a superfood. Not because of hype, but because science backs it up. It contains 57 g of protein per 100 g, more than eggs, meat, or whey protein. But even more impressive, 95% of that protein is absorbable, which really matters after 60, when digestion begins to slow. It's especially high in leucin, the key amino acid that triggers muscle protein synthesis, helping to rebuild aging and weakened muscle tissue. Herb anti-inflammatory and cell-protective benefits. Spirulina isn't just protein. It's also rich in gamma-linolenic acid, GLA, a powerful omega-6 that eases inflammation and post-exercise soreness. It contains phycocyanin, a strong antioxidant that protects muscle cells from free radical damage. One of the hidden reasons older adults lose energy, even without illness. A 2023 study in the Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia and Muscle tracked seniors with severe muscle loss, sarcopenia. After taking 10 g of spirulina daily for 16 weeks, they experienced backhand index pointing right 32 pounds, 145 kg, of lean muscle gain. Backhand index pointing right 52% improvement in protein synthesis. Backhand index pointing right, and a noticeable drop in daily fatigue. White heavy check mark how to use it safely and effectively. Worried about the seaweed taste? You're not alone, but you don't need much. Start with 1 g a day and slowly build up to 5-10 g. Here are some easy ways to use it. Blend it into a smoothie with banana or pineapple, you won't even taste it. Stir it into your morning oatmeal, or take it as a certified tablet from a trusted source. Important note, always choose organic, heavy metal tested spirulina. Algae absorbs a lot from its environment. Orange Heart Real Change takes gentle steps. Dorothy, the patient I mentioned, was once so drained she barely left the house. She had tried protein shakes, supplements, even sleep aids. Nothing helped. After I guided her on how to use spirulina and paired it with light daily movement, she called me 10 weeks later and said, "I'm not just holding my grandbaby now, I'm walking around the park again. I feel alive." Sometimes the thing that helps you stand again isn't some powerful drug or complex treatment. It's something simple, something small, like a tiny algae used wisely at the right time. Hourglass not done up next. Now that you're gaining strength and rebuilding muscle, the next question is, when should you eat your protein to get the most out of it? In the next part, I'll share a powerful tip most people overlook: the best time to eat protein. Before bed or after your walk, what foods help it absorb better? If you've ever taken vitamins or eaten eggs and still felt no difference, you might be missing the golden window. Stay with me, we'll uncover it together. I want you to picture this. You've been making all the right choices, eating clean, taking your supplements, getting enough protein, even going for gentle walks each day. But still, you feel weak. You keep waking up with leg cramps. And sleep just won't come easy anymore. I've had so many patients come to me with this same frustration. They're doing everything right, yet still not getting the results they hoped for. And often the problem isn't what they're eating. It's when alarm clock protein isn't just about amount, it's about timing. After 60, your body doesn't absorb nutrients the way it did at 30. Your muscles become less sensitive to protein, something we call anabolic resistance. That means just eating enough protein isn't enough. You need to eat it at the right time so your body can actually use it effectively. Most muscle repair happens while you sleep. Did you know that over 70% of muscle rebuilding happens at night while you sleep? That's why I always recommend this to my patients. Backhand index pointing right have a small portion of slow-digesting protein before bed, like Greek yogurt or cottage cheese. These foods are rich in casein protein, which digests slowly and steadily releases amino acids into your bloodstream over 6-8 hours. This helps prevent muscle breakdown during the night, something very common as we age. Person light female the anabolic window after movement. If you take morning walks, stretch, or do light gardening, the 30 minutes after activity is your golden window to refuel. During this time, insulin naturally rises a bit, your muscle cells open up, and your body is primed to receive nutrients. Try a smoothie with banana plus Greek yogurt. Or plant-based milk with spirulina. It's simple and powerful. Fork the order you eat also matters. Most people never hear about this, but how you eat a meal in what order impacts how your body responds. A study from Harvard Medical School showed backhand index pointing right eating protein and healthy fats first, like nuts, fish, or yogurt, helps balance blood sugar. Backhand index pointing right saving carbs for last, like bread or rice, prevents insulin spikes, which over time can weaken your body's ability to absorb nutrients. Also, fat-soluble vitamins like a D, E, and K need healthy fats to be absorbed properly. So pairing your veggies with avocado, olive oil, or a sprinkle of nuts That's not just tasty, it's smart nutrition. White heavy checkmark, a few easy daily swaps. Before bed, a small bowl of Greek yogurt plus a few walnuts. After activity, smoothie with banana, avocado, and plant milk. Lunch, lentil salad with olive oil dressing. Breakfast, oatmeal with flax seeds, spirulina, and berries. Remember, you don't need to eat more. You just need to eat smarter. Old woman, a patient story. Nancy, age 66. Nancy once came to me saying, "I eat so carefully, but I still feel weak." We didn't change her diet. We changed when she ate. She moved her yogurt snack from morning to right before bed, added a smoothie after each afternoon walk. 4 weeks later, she returned with tears in her eyes. "I'm sleeping better. My feet aren't numb in the mornings. And for the first time in years, I walked through the park without having to stop and rest." Compass, so what comes next? Now that you've learned to eat at the right time, it's time to step back and look at the big picture. Backhand index pointing right, how can every bite you eat become an act of healing and self-love? In the final chapter, I won't talk to you as a doctor, but as an older friend, someone who spent decades walking alongside people just like you. Because healing your muscles after 60 isn't just about food, it's about how you choose to honor your body every single day. Are you ready for a gentle ending so you can begin a brand new journey? If you're still here with me, reading these final lines, I believe you're not just looking for health tips, you're rebuilding something deeper. Your relationship with your own body. We've walked through a journey together, 10 chapters, each one a quiet door opening toward healing. From humble foods like yogurt and avocado to powerhouses like spirulina and tempeh. From the science of protein and minerals to the timing of each bite. But more importantly, you haven't just learned how to eat better, you've learned how to listen to yourself again. And now I want to ask you something. Have you realized it yet? Health isn't about youth long gone. It's about the care you choose to give your body every single day. A spoonful of yogurt before bed, a handful of pumpkin seeds in the morning, a scoop of lentils with dinner. They're not just food. They're tiny acts of love, gentle offerings to the body that's carried you this far. Small things, but powerful enough to change how you walk, how you sleep, how you live. Question mark, I want you to ask yourself. How long has it been since you believed you deserved to feel strong again? Have you come to accept cramps, weakness, or poor sleep as something you just have to live with? And if it only takes one small change a day, are you willing to start today? I know change isn't easy, but the hardest part, you've already done it. You stayed, you listened, you didn't give up. And I believe that not any food, not any supplement, is the greatest gift of aging. Not fighting time, but living alongside time with awareness, compassion, and love. From my heart to yours, thank you for giving your precious time to reflect and listen. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your journey. Thank you for not turning your back on your health, no matter your age. If something in this video made you pause, made you feel seen, or simply made you want to care for yourself just a little more, then please try just one of the small things I shared, tonight or tomorrow morning. And if your symptoms don't improve, don't hesitate to see a doctor. You don't have to carry the weight alone, because your body deserves to be heard, to be cared for, to be healed. Megaphone, stay connected. Are you struggling with cramps, weakness, or poor sleep after 60? Was there something in this video that spoke to you? Backhand index pointing right, leave a comment below. I read every single one, and I want to hear your story. Backhand index pointing right, and don't forget to hit subscribe and tap the bell so you won't miss the next video from me and the Vigor Without Age team. We'll be right here, not just to educate, but to walk with you through every step of your healthy, meaningful life after 60. Urban, finally, I wish you strength in every step, peace in every breath, and happiness in that quiet, unique way only you can feel. Thank you for showing up today. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, this is not the end. This is the beginning of something new. You're not walking this road alone.